Welcome to 13 Not Reviews, and today we'll be reviewing The Dark Half, 1993 horror film, 2 hours and 2 minutes long, directed by the great George A. Romero, based on a novel written by that Stephen King guy. Y'all probably know who he is as well. The budget on this film was like $15 million, which is a lot of fucking money. This film stars Timothy Hutton. I don't know. But as Thad Belmont slash George Stark, he plays two roles. And Amy Madigan plays Liz Belmont, the wife. And Michael Rooker is in this. We all like Michael Rooker. And, that's all I really want to talk about as far as the actors. The synopsis on the film is a writer's fictional alter ego wants to take over his life at any price. All right, so I remember the opening credits. The guy's a little kid, and he starts having these headaches, and they don't know why, and they see him on the ground. He's struggling in pain, and all of a sudden he's having surgery. Open his head up, and there's some kind of Siamese twin that never really grew or something, and it just all of a sudden started growing inside of him or something. So they had the tumor, well, they called it a tumor. Not they called it a little bit of both, but they ended up calling it a tumor. And a tumor removed, but I don't know what they did with it. I forgot that part. But he grows up to be a famous writer, writing books, but he writes it under a pseudonym, kind of like that Stephen King dude did with Richard Bachman books, which I thought The Running Man, which is one of the only books I could make it through that Stephen King wrote. The Dark Half is, of course, another one, but he ends up growing up to be a famous writer, but he can't seem to write stuff under his own name that he's willing to take credit for. So he has this alter ego, George Stark, who is like a badass. He writes all the fucking juicy shit, the killing, the raping, the drugs, all the fucking badass shit, I guess, that he don't want to take credit for. And when he's writing this stuff, his wife says he goes into some kind of state like where he's an asshole. So it's kind of like almost split personality type thing at first. You don't know which way it's going. But somebody ends up finding out about him being George Stark. His writing under George Stark is actually the Belmont, Thad Belmont. So he tries to blackmail him. Like, you don't want your fans finding out you're actually George Stark, that you actually write this stuff. And family, whatever. So he calls his publishers, you know what? We're just going to start taking credit for, you're just going to start taking credit for being George Stark. You are George Stark. We're going to kill George Stark off. And they end up taking a picture by a fake grave, burying his imaginary alter ego. And then all of a sudden, killings start happening. Two people that were involved in this, like the guy that took the picture, ends up dying. And you start seeing this, Thad Belmont is kind of like the regular everyday Joe, whatever. And then and you start seeing his alter ego take form when he's killing these people. Dude's wearing black cowboy boots, wearing all black, hair slick, bad boy. He's a bad motherfucker. And mean, too. So, I mean, it's a totally different person. But you can't quite figure out through the film, and they did a good job with this, if it's really two separate people, or is Thad Belmont have this split personality? Is he blacking out doing the Fight Club thing? Like, he don't know if he's really doing it or not throughout the film. Kills were cool. Story was badass. This, you need to check out if you have not seen this movie. I remember watching it back when it came out. I was probably 13 years old, so I don't remember a lot about it. So I wanted to rewatch it. Blu-ray. Got it the other day. Wow. This motherfucker. You need to watch this motherfucker. George Stark, man. I think he kind of sells me as his character, George Stark. I mean, he drinks George Dickel from Tullahoma, Tennessee. Whiskey from Tullahoma, Tennessee. That's fucking awesome. Uh, this is a movie you need to watch. To me, I'm gonna put this up there as George A. Romero's second best film of all time. Yes, better. I mean, I got a nostalgic thing for Night of the Living Dead. Night of the Living Dead. If it wasn't for that movie, this may be my favorite movie that George A. Romero has ever put out. I'm not a real big zombie guy. I'm sorry. I love George Romero's zombie movies, but I'm just not there. I like this movie better than Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead, Survival of the Dead. I think it's better than all them crazies. But not the Living Dead. I don't know. That's just one of them childhood things. That movie kind of scared shit out of me when I was little. It's up there with Jaws, and Jaws to me was the scariest movie of all time. But Night of the Living Dead is up there, one of the top ones that had an effect on me when I was a kid. But I love this film, and this is a film that I could probably watch over and over and over again. If you hadn't watched it, you need to check it out. It's a great film, and that's all I got for you today. I appreciate y'all hanging with me. Y'all come back and hang again sometime.